Hi, and welcome to Behind the Scenes with Axiom Medical. I'm your host, Jason McWhinney. If you're first joining us, this is a bi-weekly series where we go behind the scenes here at Axiom Medical and introduce you to the people that work here. And this week, I have the pleasure of speaking with Marcus Bahena, who is a lead counsel here at Axiom Medical. Marcus, introduce yourself.
I believe you just did, but let me just repeat what he just said. My name is Marcus Bahena. I'm the lead counsel here at Axiom. And pleasure to be here. Excited about it.
So for us non-law nerds, what does lead counsel mean here at Axiom Medical?
I have no idea. It seems to be constantly evolving. I don't think Chuck provided me parameters. Our chief legal officer provided me parameters at the very, very beginning. But it's anything from contract negotiations to employment law, working pretty much daily with the HR team, and now start moving into more of a cybersecurity type phase and working with IT heavily. So it's basically every question that Chuck doesn't want to answer, and he kicks it over to me, and that's where I take over.
That's great. And one thing about this company is, and I think most people can attest to this, is when you start here, we like to hire sort of a jack of all trades type people that kind of can move in different directions at any given moment. So I think that's fantastic that your goalposts are moving, but you're able to adapt to that.
Oh yeah. Again, like I like to think I'm the younger, hipper attorney. So again, because I have the youth, my knowledge can evolve quicker than Chuck's. Love you, Chuck.
And for those, he introduced him earlier, but Chuck Cable is a constant contributor to our webinars, our live webinars that we have. We're actually having one tomorrow. Hop on our site and sign up for that. He's our chief legal and HR officer, has been with the company for a bunch of years now. But you actually worked with Chuck in a previous experience. Well, walk us through that.
Yeah, it was, I think, around 5 years ago. I just graduated from law school. I graduated from Southern Methodist University. I always shout out to my law school. And Chuck had an opportunity when he was the chief legal officer at a company called Ameris Holdings Incorporated, which is oddly enough probably a couple hundred yards down the street from Axiom. He brought me down from Dallas, Texas, and it was basically, hopefully a match made in heaven. He's put up with me probably the good majority of my legal career, and has been a great mentor and a source of knowledge to me. So I was there with him for a number of years, and he unfortunately left to come to Axiom, but I guess it ended up being okay. He went there, and then I shortly followed him to come to Axiom myself.
So you mentioned you're from Dallas. Does that mean that you're now a Houston Texans fan?
Oh God, no! I think that's sacrilegious. First, I love America. Cowboys are America's team, so I'm always going to be cheering for the Dallas Cowboys. I've had the same debit card since I was like 16, and so it's a Dallas Cowboy debit card, and I don't see that changing. Even me and my wife's son, he always when we go outside and we're wearing masks, like we have a grouping of like comic book hero masks, normal masks that my wife likes, and also like the Dallas stuff. And eventually it got to the point where now we have the mask. He's like, I always want the Dallas one. So I get stuck with like a Spider-Man or Batman mask while he's wearing the Cowboys or Mavericks or Texas Rangers. So it's pretty cool. Always going to pass on my love to anybody close to me.
That's funny. I'm Canadian, grew up outside of Toronto, so I'm a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. So we both share in common that our teams didn't win before we were born. So the Maple Leafs have not won in something like 50 some odd years. So
I was 8 the last time the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
8 or 7. So it's been a while, but I do have those great memories of when everybody could proudly wear the star around Texas.
That's fantastic. That must have been a fun memory as an 8-year-old. Have you been to the new stadium at all?
Yeah, and when I was in college, I was a film minor. So I worked with ESPN kind of throughout my time at TCU, And so I did like the first official game and Jerry World. I was on the sideline and not doing anything glamorous. I was pulling cable. But I got to see it, and I think I still have my credential from the game at my mama's house.
Wow, what a fun memory! That's amazing. That new stadium is something else. I went a couple years ago to see the Blue Jays and the Rangers play, and they were still building the new baseball stadium. But you cannot not see that stadium. It's massive.
It's a rocket ship right next to Six Flags and all this family adventure. And then you have a rocket ship in the middle of nowhere. So it's for sure you can't miss it.
That's great. So let's go back to Axiom Medical. How long have you been here?
I think I've only been here. I did some contract work with Chuck probably 6 months before I joined full time. But full time I've been here since January. But whether it's good or bad, it seems like I've spent a lifetime here. So it's good. I'm developed a good amount of relationships with all our teams. So I've only been here a short time, but it feels like forever.
Yeah, the speed of things sometimes is definitely very fast here, and it's hard to kind of wrap your brain around where you see like, oh, it's been a couple months, or it's been 6 months, and that's a great thing. It's great to be busy.
That, and also just the COVID times, because I still think I'm probably would sign if I knew how to write a check, I would probably date it 2019, because it just seems like my mind is stuck in 2019 and I don't realize it's about to be 2022.
Yes. Yeah. I saw a joke earlier that said 2022 is like 2020 part 2, 2022. Yeah. So let's hope that we get ahead of this and everything's great. So talk to me about some of your hobbies. What do you do in your spare time?
In my spare time, we're a biking family, so we have an unnecessary amount of bikes that we have. So again, we have like cruisers and road bikes, and I think we just Santa spent a lot of our Christmas money on nice mountain bikes for the family. So when we're not working, me and my family enjoy riding our bikes and just watching sports. Or we have 2 dogs that my wife wanted, but somehow I adopted them, and I'm the caretaker of them. So I'm always constantly walking around my neighborhood to making sure that they have their little restroom breaks. But so it's biking, sports, and family for the most part.
That's great. That's fantastic. Speaking of the pandemic, did you take up any new hobbies or anything like that? I mean, you say you're biking family, but we shared a post earlier about Madison Owens, who's on our team, and she recently over the pandemic, she just discovered a new love for cooking. I know a lot of people are, they were baking bread and doing all this good stuff.
We took up a different hobby, and it's called Uber eating. So we do that constantly, and so it's just basically 3 or 4 times at least a week we order out. And again, it's just that even our son just like, when we want to go out, we're all vaccinated, but we want to go out to a restaurant. He's like, no, let's just order it. Let's just order it and have it bring it to the door. I'm like, all right, we brainwashed this child from 4 years old to have all these advanced technologies like Uber, at his ready. But if we did have a real hobby, it's probably been remodeling. We remodeled our backyard. That was our choice, and unfortunately, due to the hard freeze in early February, which is totally foreign to us Texans, and caused us to renovate our whole first floor. So we've been 2 years inside of our house, and it's basically we've only had a couple of months where our house hasn't been under construction. So that has been quite pleasant.
Wow, that sounds like a lot to have on your plate. I wanted to share a couple comments here from Dara Wheeler, who I've interviewed in a little bit. A little while ago, she said, "Go Marcus," and then she also said, "Uber eating is the best hobby."
Oh, for sure. It's an expensive one, but yeah, it's a fun hobby.
Yeah, I fall down that rabbit hole sometimes when it's been a long day and you just want something quick and just open up the app and get some food.
Yeah.
So we were talking before the show about music. You're a big music fan. We were talking about actually concerts. And what's some of the best concerts you've seen? And I know it's been a while since anybody's been able to go to a concert, although some are venturing out. But what's some of your favorite concerts you've been to in the past?
My favorite concert, and again, I'm not this old, but I have like an old soul for music. That's why we were talking about Paul McCartney and Bruce Springsteen right before I call. When I grew up, I wasn't always this chill. I had a super amount of energy, and so like I loved the Red Hot Chili Peppers growing up. So like my first concert, I think I was like 13 years old. Um, Parents dropping me off in Fair Park in Dallas, and just seeing them and Snoop Dogg. It was a really cool concert, and they just have a really dynamic stage presence. A couple other cool concerts I've been to was I think Kiss. Seeing Kiss was pretty cool. Spectacular fireworks show, and Velvet Revolver. And this is when Scott Stapp was still alive. Not Scott Stapp. Scott
Weiland.
Scott Weiland. Yeah, he was still alive, and so seeing him was pretty cool and exciting. And then before Kanye went crazy, I thought seeing Kanye back like in 2009 was quite a big experience. I've seen him a numerous amount of times after that, but that was back when he wasn't as quite as vocal about other things.
Yeah. Those are some great live bands. I actually got to. I do concert photography on the side, so I usually shoot Austin City Limits Festival. I chose not to do it this year because of COVID, but Red Hot Chili Peppers played there a few years ago, and I got to go in the pit, take some photos. But even if you're a quasi fan of that band, they are fantastic live.
We were at the same venue. We're both
nice.
in Austin. There you go.
That's great.
Who'd have thunk it? So yeah, I've been to ACL and a couple times in Lollapalooza, both in Chicago and also when I was kind of touring. I did that when I was my parents kind of let me do whatever I wanted. So like as a 13, 14-year-old kid, probably shouldn't be attending these concerts by myself, but there I was. So it was a good time.
That's fun. Live music is a passion of mine. There's nothing like being in a venue or an outside venue where you're getting this 3D surround sound of music that's all over the place. I wanted to share another comment we got from our Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Scott Cherry. So he's hoping that you can do the MS-150 ride on the Axiom team one year.
I've never competed or participated in the event, but it's something that I would love to do. It's anytime. I'm not the biggest. I don't know how to fix things, and I'm not that manly. But I love the outdoors that I enjoy is playing soccer, biking. So that I enjoy, and it's right up my alley. So look forward to the day when we're allowed to do fun events again.
Having done the MS-150 before, there's nothing quite like it. It is grueling. It is a lot of work, and you're very tired. But for the most part, from the start to finish, there's a lot of people on the sidelines that are cheering you on, and a lot of people that have MS that are saying thank you with their their signs and whatnot. So it's a very fulfilling experience. When it comes to fixing your your tires and all that kind of stuff, you can't fix it. There's a sag wagon that comes by and fixes it up. And they also have actually police officers or motorcyclists with their the big Hondas and Harleys that have basically air pumps on them, so they can pump up your tire if you need help with that.
How many days is it? 2, 3?
Generally 2, yeah.
2.
They've changed the route. I don't know what they're going to do next year, but it used to go from Houston to Austin, and you would stop in LaGrange on the day in between first and second day. So hit up Dr. Cherry for that. He would love to have you on the team. I know we've done jerseys in the past, so if we get back to doing that, Dara, she does it as well. Jordan, a bunch of people do it. Sean on the team also does it. So what does the future hold for Marcus Bahena?
Who knows? I'm excited to be a part of the team. Constantly learning and growing with the company. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to join Axiom, is just because how innovative they were as a company. And as we start to endeavor into different avenues and service lines, hopefully I can continue growing as an attorney and developing my knowledge and skill and helping just grow grow the team and grow myself. So I'm excited about it. And right now, I still think I'm young and foolish enough to take on any challenge. So just excited to be part of the team.
Fantastic. So one last question. Is there anything completely above the board and fully legal, a fun story that you have about you and Chuck?
Me and Chuck? Like I don't know. Like he's a good guy. Probably just me coming down. I don't know if there's fun stories. If that sounds that sounds terrible, but like he's
Or
just
glowing praise, if you like.
yeah, he's been, like I said before, he's been a good mentor and a good role model for me. Because again, when I came down from Dallas, I think I was 28 years old and probably still old enough, but I didn't know what to do. And he showed me how to be a lawyer, and also when I eventually got married and started progressing in my life, he was always there to bounce some ideas off of and grow and like I have a good amount of gray hairs in my head now, but I think there would be a whole lot more if Chuck wasn't there for me.
That's a glowing praise. Us internally, we definitely know the worth of Chuck, and we're so happy he's with us, and we're actually glad that you joined the team as well, so we can ping you and say, hey, is this legal? Can we do this?
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. All right, any closing remarks?
No, it's been fun. Again, hopefully next time. I guess we're always going to be doing this, but next time, hopefully we can have more time to talk about music and we only spent like 2 minutes on the Dallas Cowboys, so next time we can have like a 10 or 15 minute period where we just discuss Dallas sports. I'll be open for that. So next time.
I feel like those 2 minutes were 3 minutes too much.
Oh yeah, all right.
All right. Well, thank you, Marcus. I appreciate you joining us, and thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time.